Um, as we get everything started here, I'm going to get everyone checked in. So as I call your name, if you could just give me your full name and who you're representing here today, whether you're the applicant, owner, or neighboring property owner or someone else. And so I'll start with Jason Langhammer. You could unmute. All right, while we're waiting on that, let's go to Betsy Townsend, if you could unmute. You need to unmute. Okay, let's just have everyone unmute now. Cindy Cotton, are you with us?
Yes, I am.
Okay, great. Um, is your name Cindy Cotton?
It's my proper name is Cynthia M. Fitton Cotton. If you need a full name.
Got it.
I'm a neighbor and I'm also one of the trustees of the street.
Okay, great. Welcome. All right, Betsy Townsend.
President of the Homeowners Association of Corbin Drive.
Okay. I assume then also neighboring property owner.
Yes.
Okay. Great. And Joe Ziner.
Can I talk? Yeah. I'm the builder, Joe Ziner, and Jason just texted me. He said he's having trouble unmuting.
Yeah, I see that. Let's see. Jason, I'm gonna, I think I can like send you a prompt to unmute. There we go.
That better?
Oh, Jason, can you hear me? Jason?
I can hear you. I can hear you. I just can't. I can't unmute it.
No, I can hear you now. You're unmuted.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, you're unmuted and I can see you. So you good as is. You're the owner of the property, is that right?
I am. That is correct.
Okay, great. Welcome. And I see we also have Trey Sheldon, who is a member of the planning department and produced a staff report for the application.
Right.
Welcome, Trey. All right. On the owner side or applicant side, are we expecting anyone else to join us here today?
No.
Okay, great. Let's go ahead and get started. I need to read through the hearing script. This will just cover the procedure for the hearing, and then we will get started. So this is the August 14th, 2024 session of the zoning hearing examiner docket. Again, my name is David Sturkey. I'm the zoning hearing examiner for the city, and I'll be presiding over the hearing today. The case before us is case number ZH20240096. That's 10 Corbin Drive. The purpose of this hearing is to allow applicants and any other parties to testify and to offer and refute evidence. This hearing will follow the rules found in the zoning code and the supplemental rules of the zoning hearing examiner. All testimony and evidence that an applicant or any other party wishes to offer must be presented at this hearing. The hearing will proceed as follows. The applicant, the applicant's attorney, or the applicant's agent will first present the applicant's case. So for our purposes here today, Mr. Ziner, Mr. Langhammer, that will be your opportunity to tell me about the project, any background you think is important, the relief that you're asking for here today, and of course, why you think that relief is appropriate, why it should be granted. I'll then move to the public. I'll allow Ms. Townsend and Ms. Cotton, if they would like, to provide any testimony after the applicant has presented its case. I'll then move to the planning department and allow Mr. Sheldon to provide any testimony in addition to his staff report. In the event that any party testifies or offers argument in opposition to this application, the applicant will have an opportunity to respond or rebut that testimony that was offered in opposition. And then finally, the applicant will have an opportunity to make closing statements. After all presentations have been made, I will close the hearing. Decisions may be expected within 2 weeks. I may limit or exclude any testimony that I deem irrelevant or outside the scope of the application being considered. I may interrupt any speaker to ask questions or to make any comments. In the event of any technical difficulties, I'll do my best to troubleshoot those on the fly, but to the extent there's some defect that prevents us from meaningfully going forward with the hearing, I may continue or postpone the hearing at my discretion. Okay, last thing I need to do is just swear in all of our witnesses. So if you intend on providing any testimony here today, making any comments, asking any questions, really doing anything other than just strictly observing, then the zoning code requires that I swear you in. If you're not certain, I can always swear you in later, but anyone that is reasonably certain that they would like to provide some testimony here today, I'm just going to collectively swear all those people in. together right now. So if that's you, you could raise your right hand. I'll need everyone to answer out loud. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you shall provide will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
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 Okay, great. Thanks, everyone. All right. Who will be taking the lead here on the presentation from the applicant?
I guess I'll start. The builder.
Sure. Floor is yours.
It gets down to where Jason is living on a piece of property where the topography is very severe. And when you pull up to the property, there's basically just really one place to put this garage, and that's to the left and front of his existing house. And that very well sums it up, that there's no other location to put this garage.
Gotcha. So to be clear, the proposal is that a garage structure is built on the property that is technically in the, is it the front yard or side yard?
No, it is in the front yard,
Okay.
but it is to the left side of the house.
Can you tell me more about the structure, the size, the height, anything else?
The structure is a one-story. I believe it's 22 by 22. It's going to match the existing house perfectly. Same material, painted the same. Everything's exactly the same. Same garage doors to the last nut. It's going to be the same. Other than that, it's just basically getting approval for this to be in the front yard.
Gotcha. And looks like I'm also seeing a size variance as well. Looks like the code limits the total size to 800 square feet for accessory structures.
I'm sorry, what?
Is there an 800 square foot limitation for accessory structures?
Well, we're under that.
Okay. What's the total square footage again? I'm sorry.
Gotta get my calculator out for that one. I believe it's 440.
Gotcha. So is there
484
Is there an
square
existing
feet.
accessory
So we're
structure
well
on the
under the
property as well?
800.
Got it. Okay. Are there any other accessory structures on the property that would be factored into that calculation?
Jason, can you answer that?
Accessory in terms of what? I'm confused.
Not
Oh.
the primary residence, not the primary structure with the bedrooms and the kitchen.
No, there's no bedrooms in the kitchen. On this structure. It's on the kitchen, you said? Or on the
Sorry, I
bedrooms
was
or
I was
kitchen?
trying to describe what a primary structure is. It's the structure that you live in. It's the structure with the bedrooms and the kitchen.
No, there's no other.
He does
Just-
have a
this is-
swimming pool.
Got it. Trey, could you weigh in? It looks like in your staff report you mentioned
Yeah, I
two
didn't-
accessory
I didn't
structures. Did I
originally-
misread that?
Yeah, I didn't originally catch it when I was reviewing the project with Mr. Ziner. His site plan just shows this, but there is a shaded, like a little like a shade structure, a pavilion that's appears to be. I went back to look at the permit, and it's an open-sided shade structure that was built onto the pool deck there at 448 square feet. That's down on the south side of the pool deck, and it
Yeah, that
wasn't
is-
obvious.
That's correct. Sorry. That is correct. That was built. But there's no bedrooms or kids. There's nothing like that necessarily. And it is a pavilion over a deck.
Got it. Yeah, Mr. Langhair, I'm sorry. I think I confused the situation. The primary structure is the one that you live in, right? That has your bedrooms and your living rooms and your kitchen. An accessory structure is something detached from that, like a garage, that is not for living purposes.
Correct.
So
Correct.
when I said accessory structure, that's what I refer to, but there's no reason that you should necessarily know that. So I just want to clear that up. Okay.
It wasn't
Sure.
obvious from the previous aerial photograph until the 2024 ones came out fairly recently
Mhm.
on Cages. And really, frankly, it wasn't until I was writing my staff report that I was like, oh, there's a, you know what I mean? And then I checked out the permitting, and it just looks like it was built on top of an existing deck, and it was properly permitted, no excavation or anything, and in the rear yard, so it didn't trigger any kind of need for a hearing or anything at the time. But it does count toward the total 800 square feet. But I've addressed that in my staff report.
Got it. Thanks a lot, Trey. Appreciate
You're
it.
welcome.
Okay. Anything else from Mr. Ziner or Mr. Langhammer?
I'm good.
Oh, that's
Okay.
it.
All right, great. We'll move over then to Ms. Cotton. Ms. Cotton, is there anything you wanted to add to the conversation here?
Nothing that I don't think you already have. The board and the adjacent neighbors approved this garage as it applies to the covenants of our street.
Got it. So when you say approve, they support
Yeah, we
the
support
application?
his plan to do this. It abides by our rules for setbacks. So we're in support of his plan.
Okay, great. Thanks for being here. I appreciate your time and testimony. Ms. Townsend, did you want to say anything?
Yes, I mean, just confirming what Cindy said, our board met and we provided copies of the plan to the adjacent neighbors. No one had any issues with it at all. It was approved.
Okay, great. Thank you. I'll turn it over to Mr. Sheldon. Mr. Sheldon.
Yes, it's basically the only reasonable place that you could put a garage, given the topography. Go into more detail in my staff report, but the driveway sort of curves down into the west there, and is followed by a retaining wall as it goes down that gets increasingly higher as you go down to the main area where you can turn around coming out of the existing attached garage part, but from there, the topography starts to drop off very steeply into the backyard. So there's really no other place to put this. Even if you put it in the side yard, it would still need a variance. If you attached it to the house, Mr. Ziner and I discussed this, if you attached it to the house, it would have required a lot more. Then it would have gotten way into excavation instead of a minimal footer just cut into the existing concrete and into there's basically, right now, there's no grading of anything being proposed whatsoever. They're just saw cutting into the existing pavement and putting it, getting down into the gravel and such below, and maybe a bit of clay to end up putting the footer on there that's minimal to frost, 30 inches. But of course, that includes the layer of existing pavement or concrete or whatever, and then any packed gravel that's down underneath that's supporting all that parking area. So putting it any other place would have required modification to the hillside and would have ended up needing some sort of relief, probably hillside relief if they had put it off the additional part of the garage there to the west. It would have then probably needed relief from the maximum building envelope the way I was looking at it, because it would have been an attached structure. So I think this is the minimum that can be done, to the minimal disturbance there at all. It's already an existing paved area with the minimum frost footing, essentially going into non-virgin soil, barely even. It's just going through the part. So it's also under the 600 square feet, where we would typically review something of that nature for the in the hillside regulations. That the massing of it's exempt because it's under 600 square feet. And so again, I just don't see any other place on this property where it would make any sense other than this to locate that. And I think under the variance standards, it would be very unreasonable to require this to be in the rear yard. It would trigger all kinds of hillside relief and a great expense for Mr. Langhammer, as you'd have to continue the driveway back down into the backyard, essentially. So I think it's a very reasonable request in light of their need for more parking, and I'm glad to know that the neighbors approve as well.
Great, thanks. Mr. Ziner, Mr. Langhammer, anything you want to say in response to the comments from the public or Mr. Sheldon?
No, I'm happy that we're have support from the neighbors.
Okay, anything else in closing or otherwise before we adjourn?
Not for me, I agree.
Okay, we'll leave it at that. I've had a chance to review the application materials. And based on that and the testimony here today and the staff report, I agree that it would be impractical to strictly enforce the zoning code to this application. And so I'm going to approve the application. need to formalize that approval in a written decision. That typically takes, like I said before, about 2 weeks. I'll do everything I can to get that out to you as soon as possible. As soon as I finish that, I put it into a PDF. I'll email it to everybody who's in the hearing here today. You'll all have a copy of it really just moments after it's complete. As soon as you have that, Mr. Ziner, you can work with Trey on getting the zoning permitting officially approved over here and taking the next steps.
Thank you.
Appreciate
Okay.
it.
Thank you.
Great.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you, guys.
Have
Appreciate
a
it.
good day.